Many people think that hormonal imbalance starts in the hormones, but both modern research and Chinese medicine show something much deeper. Your nervous system, your blood quality, and your hormones regulate each other. So when your body is depleted, stressed, or under-supported, hormones don't have a stable foundation to regulate from. And then symptoms start to appear. In Chinese medicine, hormonal health is closely tied to the movement and the quality of your blood. And when blood is depleted or stagnant, often from stress, overworking, or under-resting, symptoms like fatigue, emotional swings, cycle irregularity, brain fog, or anxiety all become more likely. So today I want to share simple plant-based foods and herbs that will nourish your blood. And this can support any of the hormonal symptoms that women so commonly experience. I've been vegan for 30 years, and these are the foods and herbs that I've more recently implemented to specifically nourish my blood, nourish my hormones, nourish my cycle. And I've felt and seen real shifts in my energy, in my emotional stability, and in my menstrual cycle itself. And so this isn't about restriction. It's about adding nourishment first so your body feels stronger, steadier, and more supported. This often makes it easier to let go of what isn't so helpful. And this isn't about forcing you to change your ethics into a different diet either, which is why this is so important to me to be sharing with you. I learn a lot from a lot of different doctors, and many doctors will say that for women, especially women in their 40s, as our progesterone drops, that we need to eat meat. But because I learn from so many different doctors, I also learn from doctors who respect the ethics of vegans and people with a plant-based diet. And the tips I'm sharing with you have come directly from one of my primary teachers. So first off, thank you to the doctors who respect people with different ethics. Let's start off with one that's super simple, really common, and the first one that I implemented myself. Beetroot for circulation, energy, and mental clarity. So if you experience persistent fatigue, you feel cold easily, you have low stamina, you experience brain fog or dull thinking, especially around your cycle, this often points to depleted or sluggish blood. In Chinese medicine, beetroot supports blood nourishment and circulation. So this helps energy that the blood carries to reach the cells throughout your body. So reaching your tissues, your brain, your reproductive system. Beetroot supports the production of nitric oxide, which improves blood flow and the delivery of oxygen. It's also rich in folate, which supports the formation of red blood cells. So this is why you can experience more warmth, clearer thinking, and steadier energy when you bring more beetroot into your diet. I personally use beetroot more as tea. So I grate it, I keep it in a glass jar, and I use about 1/4 of a grated beet for a pot of tea. And then I add that pot of tea into a thermos with Ceylon cinnamon for sure, and any other herbs like cardamom, star anise, clove, any warming spices that feel good for me that day. And by adding the beetroot to Ceylon cinnamon, Ceylon is also warming and supports circulation and also balances blood sugar. All of this is super nourishing for the blood and created shifts in my menstrual cycle just with implementing that alone. The second one we have is nettle, which is rebuilding after depletion. So if your cycle leaves you feeling wiped out, or you notice your hair breaking, shedding, you have brittle nails, you get leg cramps, or you just have low resilience, this could be a sign that your body needs deeper mineral and blood support. Nettle is one of the most classic blood-building plants. It's especially supportive after blood loss, so after menstruation. It's rich in iron, magnesium, calcium, trace minerals, which are all essential for nervous system regulation and hormone signaling. I like using nettle leaves for tea, and I cut the taste of it with citrus So I add like half a lemon to a pot of nettle tea. And the vitamin C in the citrus that also tastes really good with the nettle also improves the absorption of the minerals in the nettle leaves. And after implementing nettle tea and using it only through one menstrual cycle, my hair has become stronger. And with the implementation of beetroot and nettle combined through my cycle, I have good energy through menstruation, after ovulation, like pretty much throughout my cycle. The third one we have is mushrooms, which are great for grounding and emotional stability. So if you feel ungrounded, you crave heavy foods, or you notice emotional sensitivity through stress or transitions, mushrooms are great for deeper nourishment. In TCM, mushrooms support the spleen system, which is responsible for transforming your food into blood. Because of this, mushrooms are grounding, stabilizing, and they're deeply supportive when stress impacts your digestion and your emotional steadiness. Mushrooms are also a great source of B vitamins and compounds that support the gut-brain hormone communication. You can think of mushrooms as the meat of the earth because they're deeply nourishing without being overstimulating or heavy and taxing on the digestive system. The fourth one we have is protein balance for blood sugar, mood, and hormones. If you experience blood sugar crashes, anxiety, or irritability between meals, or you have trouble concentrating, this can point to inadequate protein intake or just imbalance in your diet. And that could be a diet that's too high in carbs, sugars, or processed foods. We need enough protein to support the spleen system that transforms food into blood, and also enough protein to support the building blocks for the hormones and neurotransmitters. So without enough protein, the body simply doesn't have what it needs to regulate hormones or stabilize your mood. This is where that beetroot and Ceylon tea are really supportive, because the Ceylon is so helpful in stabilizing your blood sugar. It also tastes really good. You can also use nettle seeds, which are up to 30 to 40% protein in content, and grind them and sprinkle them on anything. And of course, nutritional yeast is really tasty and it's full of protein and B vitamins. Use it on anything, just like the nettle seeds. Either way, this doesn't really need to be super complicated or like you need to eat animals to get enough protein. Just consistent, balanced meals with enough plant protein will do the job. Just be mindful of it, that you're including proteins in your meals and not overdoing carbs, especially for your first meal of the day. The fifth aspect is what to gently reduce after nourishment is built. So once you feel more nourished and stable, things like refined sugars, refined grains, processed foods, caffeine are all easier to cut down and let go of. And I mention all of these because they all can stimulate the system, they can destabilize blood sugar, they create hormonal swings, and it's only worse when the body is already depleted. This isn't about force or restriction, it's more about building your capacity. Because when your system feels supported, it craves steadiness more than stimulation. Nourishing blood supports more than your hormones. It supports emotional steadiness, stress resilience, mental clarity, and nervous system regulation. And this is why blood nourishment pairs so well with things like yin yoga, grounding practices, and nervous system support, all of which create a stable internal environment. And this supports healing. If you want more support to build more habits like this, use my free ebook. I have it linked in the description. In that book, I provide easy ways to build new habits and also have a glossary of over 50 guided practices that you can choose from to bring into your daily life. this video supports you, subscribe so you continue to receive the practices that I share every week here. And let me know in the comments which of these tips resonates with you most that you want to bring into your life now, and how your journey has been navigating your hormonal balance as a vegan or with a plant-based diet. I'd love to hear your story. Just know that nourishment doesn't have to be extreme to be effective. Often it's the simplest, most consistent support that creates the most impact. All right, thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video.